FrugalSim videos are powered by Jetline Systems.
Hello YouTube, this is Frugal, and this, of course, is the DCS F18. This video is sponsored by Thrustmaster, who very kindly supplied the F18 stick that we're using today. This F18 stick is a replacement stick for their Thrustmaster Hornet Warthog system, and you can see it's a one-to-one replica with the actual stick. The only difference is there's a little rocker here which you can push up and push down and push in, which is just, I think, just useful actually. I use that for recentering track IR, but other than that, everything on this actual stick matches the real stick in the real aircraft. So there's your trim hat, there's your sensor control switch, weapons control down here, weapon release, and so on. Anyway, the mission we're actually doing the F18 version of the F16 mission I did. So Dawn Raiders, I think that was called. And we're going to be taking out some different targets to the F16s this time around. Just going to turn my lights on. There we go. Noticeable steering can go on. And we should be good to go. So let's taxi on out. Now, obviously, not a whole lot of stick stuff to see at this point. We're going to taxi out. We'll set up the rest of the displays down here as soon as we get going. Going to press backspace and get rid of the actual F18 stick in the cockpit because we have a real one here. And we don't need that. It actually gets in the way of viewing the DDI down the bottom there. And let's taxi on out. So, I'm going to change my time here. We're going to hold at waypoint 1. I have obviously powered the aircraft up. We're going to hold at waypoint 1 until 2 a.m. UTC. And then we're going to push on to waypoint 2. Targets are waypoint 3 and targets are at waypoint 4. I'll set all that stuff up in a second. Once we get taxiing in a straight line. Do have to be careful of that C-130 on the right hand side there. He always likes to get in the way a little bit. I actually very much like this stick, but you'll notice I have this offset at an angle. I'm using the Fox mounts that I did a review on some time ago, which are fantastic because you can offset them. And this stick is designed to be used at an angle. Otherwise, you kind of get this weird twist in your wrist, which is not particularly comfortable on a long mission like we're going to be doing today. So I like, with the Fox mounts, I can offset it about that 45 degrees or 30 degrees that you get in the actual F18 cockpit. Feels a bit more realistic. It's certainly a lot more comfortable. All right, so let's get this in a nice straight taxi. Also using the Thrustmaster TPR. Is it called TPR? Yeah, the pendular rudder system, which is fantastic. All right, let's go down here, menu. Well, actually, we'll turn on our warning systems down here. Zoom in. Thank you. And we'll pop on down here. I always get confused as to what does what here. Sensors, nope. Oh, there we go. SA. Pop open the SA up here, and we'll pop up the HSI over here so we get a better view of where we're going. Now, down here on the map, we will link our waypoints. You gonna work for me? Sequence 3. It's hard to see on that map, isn't it? There we go. They're linked, and I get a much better view up there as well. So we're basically going to take off on runway 09 and then backtrack towards waypoint 1. Not a whole lot to do on that initial part of the trip. Just making sure the aircraft is properly configured, which it currently is not. Time zone, there we go, 1:38. We have 20 minutes to get to waypoint 1, which should be fine. Let's put my flaps into the middle position. And here's one runway 9 here. Not going to bother with ATC today. I'm going to change the COM2 here, which is the AWACS. There we go. Let's check we're all good to go. Everything's looking lovely. Hook bypass is on field. Landing lights are on. Anti-skid is on. Launch bars retracted. We are being followed by number 2 and a C-130 at this point. Flaps are all set. Situational awareness is on. Let's go. Now, the cool thing with this mission in the F-18 is we're actually using walleyes, which I've only just learned how to use. Those are very cool. They're TV-guided bombs, and they are phenomenally fun if you can get the sequence right in terms of arming them and dropping them. Anyway, let me concentrate for a second. So, power up. 90% up to 100% afterburner in. Keep us straight down the runway. And rotate. Wheels, we're airborne, so wheels up. And as we pick up a little bit of speed here, we'll bring our flaps up. come off the afterburner and start our turnaround to waypoint number 1, which we're not currently sequencing towards, so we'll turn that on there. Waypoint 1. And we're going to climb up to about 24,000 feet. Same as the rest of the flights in this mission. Going to be around that same altitude. It's a little bit safer given the threats. I will configure the aircraft properly, so lights off and all that stuff once we're on our way, which is not just yet. Alright, still a little bit of afterburner in there, so I've pulled that off. Don't want to be draining our fuel yet. And there we are. So let's turn off the, let's go into barometric there. We'll turn off the lights there. I think we're actually looking good. I'm on sequence 1 or 2. There we go. 0.
Dodge 1 on station.
1. Yeah, we're good.
194 for 170 at 29,000.
Let's pick up a little bit of speed here. And we'll bring the nose down, get a nice even climb. Try to get about 3,000 or 4,000 feet per minute climb, but I don't want to go too fast because obviously it's going to burn a lot of fuel to do that. Yep. It's also going to confuse our guy at the back there quite a lot. There we go. It's a 5,000 foot per minute climb. So what I'll do now is we go to autopilot down here, and we'll go attitude hold. We can put in a heading select as well here if we wanted to. Let's bring this around. We want a heading of 268. And the reason I know that, there's the heading select there, 268. Let me zoom in down the bottom. And there's the course heading. So 267 now, in fact. So let's nudge this over once more. And we will go autopilot, heading select. And climb on out. Now at this point, not a whole lot to do until we get to waypoint number 1. Just monitor the fuel flow. Make sure we're not really burning fuel, which we're currently not. 1 track speed, we're good. Our other flight is behind us. You can see him there. He's got all his lights on the same as we do, so he's catching up. Incidentally, we don't have all the cockpit lights on. I'll turn those on now. It is a little bit gloomy in here. Don't want the floodlights on, but I do want to be able to see the switches. Now the problem with this is it being a dawn mission is we have the sun right behind us, which actually makes reading these screens very, very hard. We're just going to have to deal with that, I'm afraid. You can see the other flights up ahead now. They're already at their cruising altitude, 24,000 feet.
Colt 1 on station at Bulls 193.
Our time is 1:43. We're going to be pushing off the waypoint at 2 o'clock, which is 2 Zulu. Fuel flow's good. Speed is coming down. We'll push up the power a little bit here. Obviously going to need a little bit more power the higher we go. But we don't really want to be opening those nozzles too much because bye-bye fuel. We're at 20,000 feet now. We'll level off at 24. Turn on waypoint navigation there. There we go. We can see 72 miles to go here on the right-hand side to our waypoint. I am a bit of a stickler for realism in my controls. Having this F-18 stick on flying the F-18 is just perfect. This stick, incidentally, is also a one-to-one match with the Harrier stick. So if you're into the Harrier, then I'd highly recommend you check out Thrustmaster's F-18 Hornet stick for that as well. All right, so let's going to set bingo fuel here around 3,000. There. And we're pretty much all configured. Enjoy the flight. 24,000 feet. So disable the autopilot. We'll bring the nose down. We'll get level flight trimmed up. That flight path vector is showing me I'm descending. Just trimming it up a little bit there. Come on. Recenter track IR. I still don't like how I need to recenter track IR all the time, and I wonder if I'm doing something wrong. Have been using it for many, many years, but that's always been a bit of a bugbear of mine, is the need to constantly retrim it. All right, so there we go, about 24,000 feet. So now we do barometric altitude hold. That will fly us on this course at 24,000 feet. Let's look over here. What do we got? 268 and 267. So we'll just nudge this to the right. And then we can do heading select as well. And hold us on course. Speed's coming up nicely. Fuel flow is pretty good. Engines are not overly pushed. I will increase the throttles a little bit. Mudspike 3 o'clock. This is the islands off to the right here. Not an immediate threat. You can see they're in the outer circle here, which is not critical. The inner circle is critical. All right, coming up on waypoint 1 now, only 8 miles to go. So all we're going to do to go in a little hold here is just reverse the course. So I'm going to move the heading hold to about 90 degrees to the left. There it goes. That will start our left-hand turn, holding our altitude. And once we're a little bit more through the turn, then I'll push it around to the left again, another 90 degrees or so. And we'll just do that to hold until our push time, which is 8 minutes away. Pretty simple stuff. Now, as I said, we have 2 targets. Those targets are waypoints 3 and waypoints 4. Waypoint 3 is the roof of a building to the left of the apron on an airfield, which is a little bit worrying. There are some F-14s defending it, and obviously SAM sites and AAA. I need to be aware of those things. I think we should be all right as long as we get our push times exactly correct and don't leap in there before everybody else. Waypoint 4 is again some launchers, some mobile trucks out in the open, just like the F-16s had. Now, obviously, if we do have to get in a dogfight, we are a little bit better equipped than the F-16 was. We can do that. Hopefully, that's not the case. Hopefully, it's a very straightforward mission. For my first ever full mission recorded in the DCS Hornet, which is rapidly becoming one of my favorite DCS aircraft. Let's move this around again. Now, while we're doing that, let's step the waypoint up to waypoint 2, and we can see it's on a course of 003. We still have 6 minutes to go, so I'm not quite ready to set that course just yet. Oh, maybe. Let's push it around to 003 and see what we get. See what the time is like once we roll out on that heading, whether it's good to just keep going in a straight line. You never know. There's our wingman, number 2 there. We are Uzi 1. So he's Uzi 1-2, I'm Uzi 1-1. How are we doing on fuel? We're pretty good right now, actually. Let's pull back the engines a little bit. No need to be pushing it so hard at this point. See, now it's saying from where we are a course of 000.
Pushing from waypoint 2 at 25,000.
Okay, they're pushing already.
Dodge 1, pushing from waypoint 2 at 29,000.
They're all starting to push, but we are going to hold until 2. That was our mission plan. Now, the mission plan did also say that waypoint 3 we're supposed to hit at precisely 220. I'm still getting used to the F-18, and I haven't figured out just yet how to do a time on target setting for these waypoints. Maybe that's missing in the current early access, I'm not sure, but it wasn't obvious to me as to how to set that. So where are we at? We've got 5 more minutes here, so we might as well just keep on going around. I don't know what it did there. Oh, by the way, let's turn our dispensers onto bypass. So we have manual control over those, and we will go Master Arm armed shortly. You can't dispense chaff and flares without Master Arm on. All right, got 2 minutes to go. I have set the course now for waypoint 2, or heading hold for waypoint 2. Let's see if we can roll out on time. Just watching the clock down there, 1:58. We need to be leaving waypoint 1 at 2 a.m. So hard to see with that sunlight. I think we got it. Let's move my heading hole back around a little bit. Down to about 5 degrees. A bit more. We'll adjust that. All right, 45 seconds to go, so we are going to make it. We're going to roll out pretty much on the correct heading, passing waypoint 1 at 2 a.m. So now we'll bring the power back up. Pick up some speed now, no longer loitering. You see speed starting to climb up. And we are on our way. 106 miles to waypoint 2. That would be the fence-in point. But I do have some stuff I need to set up now. You can already hear sensors going off. So we have dispensers on bypass that enables me to manually drop chaff and fence, which I prefer.
Pushing from waypoint 2 at 27,000.
We'll turn Master Ram on. And at this point, we might as well bring up the air-to-air radar.
Magic 11, bra 043 for 200 at 8,000 flanking.
And we have aircraft already. That's on 20-mile range. We'll push this up to about 80-mile range. This 20-mile range aircraft here, this blip, is one of ours. Don't have to worry about him too much. And over here, we'll bring up the HSI so we have a good view of where we're going. Again, there we go. Now, I do want to get on course. We're running to the waypoint, but we are actually off course. I want to get on course because those of you who watch the F-16 videos know that the waypoints are set up to really thread a needle between air defenses. We don't want to wander too far off course. We're 21 miles away from waypoint 2 now, starting to see some targets popping up over here. See these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aircraft. Can't tell yet if they're ours or the bad guys. Don't really want to turn my ECM on yet. They're 40 miles out now. I think these are ours. These further ones at 80 miles are probably not ours. Had the ECM in receive mode, we'll put it onto transmit after we turn off waypoint 2.
Engaging bandit at bullseye 251 for 50 at 35,000. Uzi 11, Magic 11, Bra 041 for 90 at 35,000 knots.
So it's probably this one here. We're at Bra 307. And he's saying Bra 041, so you can think kind of 90 degrees to the right is these guys here. We do have F-15s over there. It's possibly the F-15s. Where are we at? 9 miles. Okay, so waypoint 3 is 023 degrees. We'll spin onto that once we get a little bit closer and then fence in. Getting pretty close now. You can see this counting down. 71 miles to waypoint 3. So we're at 005 our heading select. We're going to turn that onto 025 now. And fence in. So all the lights off at this point. That's all off. Master Arm is already on. Let's bring up the weapons now. So you want to go air to ground mode like so. We're going to select the walleye data link over here. We hit it again. We'll get the camera up, but I'm going to go data link pod. Now the station is channel 8. The data link pod is on channel 2. So we go UFC channel 8. Surprised that didn't work, but okay. And track weapon, my bad. That's probably why it didn't work. There we go. Data link. Data link. Okay. So that's not working at all, is it? Let's try that once again. Weapon. WEDL. UFC. Channel 8. Okay. What do we got? We got a SAM lock. Let's get rid of this. we are not seeing our station, which is a little distracting.
4-2, Splash Bandit at Bullseye 137, 435 at 35,000.
Sam Lock, SA11.
Ford 1, descending Sam at Bulls 276 for 12.
Now this is a problem because I'm not seeing my camera, and don't know why my data pod is not seeing the camera either. Weapon. WEDL. Let's track it down. Oh, I know why. Hang on, let's go over here. There we go. Nope, still not going, is it? And that's the end of that part of the video. I'm missing something.